Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So today we are gonna do these cute little girl flower pot thingies. I can get this hair off. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to use the beige eye candy pigment paste, but I'm going to add a little bit of the ocean white to lighten it up. And the reason I'm doing that is this is the color of it. And I want it just a little tiny bit lighter, like a light beige. And we're just gonna pour it. And then once we demold it, I'm going to paint it and decorate it. So that is the plan. So I mixed up my resin already. I'm going to put the coloring in it. I'll do that with you. I'm going to put it through the debubbler, and then I'll come back and we will pour. So there are a lot of real intricate details in this. So we're going to have to pour it somewhat slow and hopefully get all of those little spots with no bubbles. All right, so we're gonna, and I mixed up 10 ounces. I don't know, I think that'll be enough, I'm hoping. All right, so let's put this in, get this off my stick. We'll blend it, and then we'll see what we have for a color. And I'll stick that over here. Just trying to get some of that color down in here. I just figured this way here, maybe mix it up a little bit better. Hang on. I've got to put gloves on because my thingy is sticky. Let's see. Get a paper towel. And I'm just going to put my gloves on that I used to mix my resin, since they're already out and already sticky. Paste off of them where I laid the stick. All right, so let's put a little bit of white in and see. I might actually even put a tad bit of brown, depending on what this white brings it. Because to me, it's more of a yellowy than really a beige. A beige should have a little bit more brown in it. All right, so we're gonna put a good amount because I definitely do want to lighten it. All right, and let's see what we get for a color here. I'm just trying to get some of that color off the sides. All right, so that is pretty opaque. Let's grab a little bit of brown. I'm gonna try some brown alcohol ink and see what that gives us. This is kind of one of those colors that I don't put 3 drops to start, that I don't really like use a lot. So said, I just want to tint it. It's getting closer. All right. Let's see what that does. See how it's a little bit more creamy than this? And just a bit more, because then I can add more white to lighten it. But I do want it to be more on the beige side than the yellow. Just kind of more of a neutrally. Actually, let me turn this on. Then I'm just gonna run the excess off on the side of my cup. So I just kind of, and that way whatever is kind of left on this spatula will get in the cup, and then we can scoop it and remix it. And I'm gonna grab a paper towel here. I'm just gonna wipe this off. Wipe the bulk of it off. I'll spray it with alcohol, and then we will give it a good clean, and we will be good to go. All right. So let's that way we can get all the way around. All right, so let's see the comparison. It's not so yellow. I am going to add a little bit more and a little bit more white, and we'll just hand mix this part. All right, let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good. All right. So I'm gonna mix these in the cups that I use to mix up the resin, and I'm just gonna divide it in half, and then I'm gonna remix this because it's got you know, it still has resin on the sides. Oops, I almost spilt that. All right. So I'm just gonna give this a mix. So whatever leftover resin was on the side will get mixed in. And then I'm gonna put this in the debubbler, and then I will be back and we will get this poured. Alrighty guys, I'll be back. Okay, so we've got like 1 minute left in the debubbler. So my original thought was to turn them inside out, but they're very narrow here. So I turned this one inside out and I almost couldn't get it back. So that's why I decided to go this route instead of painting it first and then filling it. So yeah, we will see. And then, you know, we will be doing these in the mix to mold too. So we'll be able to see the difference. But yeah, that was my reasoning for going this route versus the other route. All right, so we got like 12 seconds left and that is done. And we will get these poured and then I'm just gonna leave them and we'll let them cure and we'll demold and see what we got. I'm really curious to see how much browner it's going to look. And guys, if you don't have this Let's Resin debubble machine, it is really, really worth it. I mean, I put it in for 8 minutes, and a lot of people that have a vacuum chamber, they put it in for 5. This is a medium viscosity resin, guys. It's a thicker resin, and it debubbles very, very well. So I do have a discount code in the description below with the link if anybody does want to try it. It's definitely worth the money. All right, so I'm just going to go around and we're going to pour slow and we're going to do the squishies and all that because there is a lot of detail. So I'm going to go about halfway. You know, make sure we get her little nose, all the little flower things on her veil, her ears, her little eyes with her eyelashes, because we don't want no bubbles in there. And I'm not going to put my stick in there because I don't want to create bubbles. So I'm thinking if I just squeezing it and moving that resin, getting our hands, hopefully we won't have any little air bubbles. Get the ends of her hair so she don't have no split ends. And did I do it? I did guess right. Oh my gosh, guys. I did it. We have a little bit left. Okay. And that is pretty much domed. All right. Yay. All right. So let's do the same with this. Trying to get that alcohol in the little flower things and in her braid. Her little hand. And let's finish. Now I want to make sure, because I put 5 ounces in each cup. So this way here, I will know if they are both the same. All right, so let's start with that. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go around, squeeze all these little sections, her ears, her face, little face and nose. And I'm trying to get her braid so that the resin is in there, so we don't have any trapped bubbles getting in there. So 10 ounces is going to be a perfect amount for the two. This one takes a little over 5 to dome it. There we go. All right. So we're gonna leave that. Let's see. I want to grab just got this in from Amazon yesterday, and it is a little bee mold. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of black pigment paste in this. All right, let me try to just move these back a smidge. Move that right out of my way. All right. And it's literally gonna take a dot of the Let's Resin black pigment. I figured it would be easier to make the bees in brown and then use my paint marker to like color it in. I don't know, that's just my thinking. So if we do the bees in the black, put one more drop. I'll do 2 drops. There we go. All right, let me wipe my silicone tool off here. I'm trying to keep my things clean as I go. It doesn't always work that way, but you know, I'm trying, right? That's the important thing. So you will see. And I'm not going to dome them yet because I want to bang this on my table before I dome them. Just like their little eyeballs and their wings. I want to make sure there's like no bubbles if I can help it. Kind of letting it drizzle in so it can get down into the wings. Ah. And then I probably will take my little silicone tool and go down into like the wings just to make sure, or my little scribe or something. And that one needs a little bit more. I'm like, I gotta start getting some little different molds so that I can make different little pieces to go in things or go on things. Because that's the one thing I don't have a lot of, you know, like those little extra things. All right, let me just try and clean up around here. And I am going to take my little scribe very gently, just kind of because there is like a side wing on these. All right, so I'm going to remember that the dot is where I started. And this is probably my skinniest tool to be able to get into the side wing. And then we will top these off and wait. The worst part of the whole thing is the weight game. All right, so this is going to be a perfect mold to do, like when you have just a little bit of extra resin and you're like, crap, what do I do with this? We don't always want to make a pendant or a keychain or... So it's going to pretty much use up what we've got in here, which is good. Alrighty. Pretty much got these filled, not filmed. I'm just putting like a little kind of dot on the back just so they're domed a little bit because it will shrink some. And I'd like to have a flat back so whatever we adhere them to, you know, we'll have that flat back to have a nice even spot for the glue. All right, guys. That is pretty much all she wrote. Just clean up some of this. And I'm gonna give these a little spritz and we'll be back for demold. Alrighty, guys, these are all set. They're all dried. So let's oh, it's cute. All right, let's a little bubble there in the wing, but not bad. So this is a matte mold, which I knew. Hey, it did a pretty good job not getting too many bubbles. Oop. So these will actually work with the mix to mold as well because they demold really easy. So I'm thinking we can get them out without breaking the wings. So basically, I did them in the black. So then I can just color the stripes. So I'll just do like every other stripe, and they will probably need a second or a third coat. Oh. And then we have our little bee. That. And then I'll just do them all up like that. And then they'll be ready to affix to something. So yeah, that's how easy those will be. And I could even do the wings in the yellow. See if we did you know, we could maybe even do the wings in like a gold or whatever. We'll just see how it looks with one section done. So yeah. Do the both. course, I picked one that has a couple little bubbles, but that's all right. Yeah, and we'll let it dry, and I'll have to put a second coat and clean it up good, but just to show you, that's what I plan on doing with these bees. All right, let's get these little girls out, because this is the main event. And I hope we have no bubbles. And we have a few on the bottom of the hair. And let me just get some alcohol down. Oh, she's so cute. So we did good on our flowers, her hand, her face. There's just a couple little ones right underneath there, but I can totally live with that. And that's like a nice deep little base too for a plant. Look at how precious she is. All right, let's get the other one out. And hopefully we have the same success. Now, one of these was a little bit tougher to flip inside out. I think it was this one here. These are going to be difficult. This one's going to be difficult in the mixed mold. That I can already tell to get out. So this one here, you're definitely going to have to make sure your mix to mold has set at least a couple of hours, I would say, because this is really, like really, really tight. There we go. Oh, but we got it back. Oh, no bubbles. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so let's get some pretty colors. And we got a couple of little bubbles right there, but that's it. So let's do like this lavender color. Come on. I have not used this pen much, so there we go. I had to get it primed. And just get around the little center of the flower there. I'm gonna move this so if I pull it closer to myself, that I'll still be in frame for you guys. I'm trying to get better with that. And they definitely paint so much better when there's not a bunch of bubbles. And we have one. Let's see, we'll do this one. All right, so that's from that flower, so all right, so we have two purple. I'll do this one with you, and then I'll do the other one on a time lapse. And let me see what. Let's do a little orange center. And this one's going to have an orange and a yellow center. Because there's two different markings on the inside of this. And here's my yellow. Let's do, I'll do two yellow ones, and then that we'll do in a red, like a rose. Just so it has, you know, a little bit of a difference in the flowers. Trying to see where this one is just a piece of this one hitting the other one, so I'm not going to be making any molds, guys. I poured one yesterday and it only had a small leak, so I thought I was good. And when I came back, everything had drained all over my table. So I mean, I hot glued it. I left it for a couple of days to make sure that my glue had fully cured, and yeah, it's just a mess. And silicone is just way too expensive to be making that kind of mistakes. So if I do anything, they're going to be little flat molds, and that's it. Because yeah, I wasn't a happy camper when I came down to demold it. And I did it off camera so I could painstakingly make sure that I had, you know, every little nook and cranny. And it didn't leak from the sides. It leaked from where I stuck it down. So, I don't know. So, yeah, that was my disaster yesterday. Now, you could really take your time and, you know, shade the centers and all that, but for the sake of the video, I'm trying to, you know, keep it somewhat decent in time. And then we're gonna fill our little center in there. And I did go a little bit bigger because I just wanted that. I didn't want it to be so perfect. And we'll do just a few dots in the center there. Okay, so that's looking good. Let me get my orange into my other two. So that can dry, and then we can put a little yellow in the center there too. I don't even know what kind of flowers these are. They look like, I don't know, pansies maybe, or I don't know. But that's what we're going with. The other ones, I'll maybe just make them into, like, I don't know, daisies or something. So let's, do we want to do a red or a pink rose? Decisions. Oh, we might as well go with pink. We'll stay with the pastels. So this one has a lot more petals that you got to get the underneath. All right, and this one's where the bubble is. But with the paint, you can fill in your bubbles. Now, I could have probably taken a little UV resin, but they're not bubbles that are going to be enough to really take away from the piece. They're just little. And flowers are not perfect, you know? So, like I said, they'll definitely need a second coat. But, and what I might do is go in, you know, once this is all dried, and like shadow in the insides a little bit. All right, so we got that. Now, let me take this. This is just a Sharpie, and let's just do her eyes and her eyelashes. She is so sweet. Look at that. She is adorable. And let me see, what color shirt? Because she does have like a little shirt on. So let's do a light blue, and then we'll do like a white strap. So, you know, it could be like a, I don't know, a lace on a tank top. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what we'll go with. And these ones are my oil markers. These just, they work better on resin, I feel. I'm just gonna go around the bottom of this, because then I can use the bigger tip part. Okay. And the trick with these is you want to put them upright like that, hold the tip down, and then go the other way because it gets the air out. So then the paint will flow into the thing much better. Here it comes, here it comes. Come on. There we go. And I got a little bit of cleanup there. That's not bad though. All right, gotta let that dry just a little bit more, but you get the gist. And let's do, like I said, well, now the thing is to try to not touch the wet paint with your hands. Look at how cute. At least the shape of this, you can have this to hold. So that kind of helps a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Let's get a little alcohol. And we'll just clean up just a little bit. Okay. So yeah, so what do you think of our little pretty little girl here? And I gotta do our little so, and this is what I was saying. You can just kind of, you know, give a little bit of just add some extra interest around the centers. know, just to, I don't know, darken it up a little bit around that. You know, like the pansies kind of have that, a little bit of light and a little bit of dark. Are they petunias? I don't know. But just to kind of give, you know, a little more interest into the flowers. So yeah, and then I'll just do the other one the same way, and I will trim the bottom. But yeah, that's our little girl. And, you know, I could have done her hair like a whole different color, but I figured we'd just give her some little features and call that good. Alrighty, so let me get this one done, and then I will get you some final pictures. Alrighty, guys, I'll be back in a minute. I'll show you the final piece. Okay, so they are both done, and that's how they look. I gave them a little lipstick. So I did one with more pastel flowers, one with a little bit darker flowers, but I think they came out adorable, except for this eye is so deep sunk in that I was struggling to try and get it right. So yeah, this one is just a weirder shape than this one. This, it's like nice and smooth. This one is, there's quite a lip in there. So, but overall, I think they came out so cute. And I'm gonna put a little plant in there, and she will be good to go. So yeah. Alrighty, guys, I just figured I would show you the finished pieces. I will get you some final pics and see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.